All right, Steve says, Boom fans. Something a little bit different today. Many of you have heard me or seen me talking about issues, stories, characters. But what about Steve the Collector? Well, I'm in the process of transferring some boxes over, so it seems rather appropriate that I take a look and share it with you guys out there. So, this is the 1970s, of course, and being alphabetical, you've got to start off the 1970s with Amazing Adventures. Number one right there. That's actually August 1970. So you have the Inhumans and Black Widow. Amazing. By the way, back in the day, these issues were quite cheap. Everyone was only interested in this issue. They only wanted the first appearance of the Furry Beast, issue 11, of course, which was written by a very young Steve Englehart right there with some art by Tom Sutton. But yeah, everyone wanted that issue. Amazing Adventures with the Beast. And then issue 18. Look at that. War of the Worlds. Look at it. It's set in 2018. Okay? Look at that costume. Huh? The 1970s. Can they be beaten? No. This is what they envisioned we would be wearing in 2018. Now, lucky enough, in 2018, we didn't see the Martians. Everything's okay. However, we can still dress like this if we want to. I thought it was always fascinating. So, The Amazing Adventures ran all the way up until issue 39, and the series came to an end. Of course, My Amazings. These were always pretty expensive. Always. So, this is the nice Black Widow appearance right there, where she wears her new costume. There's a nice little stretch in here. There's the infamous drug issues here, 96, 97, 98 right there, where the comics code were, getting all artsy-fartsy. There's my issue 100. And of course, this is a book that's very common, but now very popular. Amazing 101, featuring the first appearance right there of Morbius, the living vampire. Look at that beautiful book. That's Gil Kane. Look at that costume. Look at his eyes. And look at his hand. He's outstretched like, that you're mine. You're in my possession right there. Beautiful, evocative work there by Gil Kane. All these issues were, pretty expensive at the time. They cost me between 20 and 25 bucks a piece back in the 1990s. Look at this right there. And then, of course, moving up, everyone knows how much I love the Gibbon. I love the Gibbon. That's Martin Blank right there. That's his first appearance. It's a 110. That's where the Craven, forces the Gibbon to attack Spidey. First appearance of Hammerhead right there. Issue 119 and 120 is where Spidey is in Canada. And then he meets up with the Hulk. And then, of course, Death of Gwen Stacy. And then Death of Green Goblin. It's amazing how most people scream at me even today. Why aren't you CGCing your books? I'm not selling my books. I don't need them CGC'd. I have a couple of CGCs, but generally speaking, I look after my books, and I'm fine with it. Another one of my little favorites. Against Powerman right there, J. Jonah Jameson hires Powerman to take Spidey out. What an era this is, by the way. Look at this. This is the first appearance of the Man-Wolf. Oh, my word. Look at that. Unbelievable. Jameson, what is this thing? It's my son. Oh, my word. It doesn't get any better than that. And then, of course, there's one of my few CGCs. I actually have a 9.4 of that. I had to get that. You got to get that. Again, I do have a nice complete run of 70s Spideys. Now, you probably think, where's the 129? I have the 129. It's a CGC. Misplaced it right now. I don't know where it is, but I do have it. And of course, you know, we have the Tarantula here, and of course there's a little Punisher cameo in there, and then boom, I remember the cost of fortune, these damn books. Okay, there's Harry Osborn taking up the moniker there, or Green Goblin. All good stuff right there. All you collectors out there that are doing Spidey, that don't have these issues yet, good luck. It seems to be a run that goes on forever, and they're so expensive. Of course, the Clone Saga right here, Gwen Stacy, beautiful issue 144. Of course, Jackal 148, and then the infamous 149 there with the clone. Nobody realized that Ben Reilly would return in 1994 to completely shake the Spider-Man universe to its core. I can still remember the faces on the people who, take me off the pull list. I hate Ben Reilly. Where's Peter Parker? Yeah, I was working behind the counter back in 1994 when I saw that. So yeah, all those Spideys. Let's go to it. Let's see, another one of my little highlights here. Of course, you know where I'm going, right? You know where I'm going, because look at that right there with Nova 171. It's a crossover there. It crosses over with Nova number 12. And then, of course, I have my copy of 194. I CGC'd it. It came back 9.6. I really thought it was going to be at least a 9.8, but whatever. Astonishing Tales. Again, no one cared about these books in the 90s. I managed to pick these up for a song, really, considering like $5, $6 to $8 a piece. I mean, I think about it now. It's like, oh my word, people just didn't care about this. They didn't care about Kazar or Doctor Doom. And then, of course, Kazar just takes over the whole book. And then there's this little weird period where we have these little monsters. There it is. See? It, the living colossus right there, takes over. Look at that right there. It fighting Fin Fang Foom. All you 70s maniacs out there, I know you're licking your lips right now over that book. This book has become quite popular recently. Deathlok. I think there's some sort of TV appearance or something happening with him. I remember I spent $25 on this book. $25 damn dollars. And yeah, it was supposed to be a 9.4, but it's not. But I did buy a CGC one of it somewhere. I got it somewhere. Okay, so we have our good Deathloks. Great stuff. And then we have a reprint here of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which was completely worthless back in the day. It has some value now. Look at that cover right there. Rick Buckler. Whew. Oh my word. Just great stuff here. All you guys that haven't collected this run yet, it goes up to issue 36 right there. And then you're going to begin your Avengers run, because hey, all of you have got to do a complete Marvel 1970s. What else are you going to do with all that time and money? Again, these were not cheap. Even back in the 1990s, you did not find Avengers in discount bins. They were always expensive. Each one was $15 to $20 a piece. Look at that book right there. The Man-Ape. I love the Man-Ape, by the way. And look how Captain America has had his mercy right there. Look how John Buscema has drawn the Man-Ape's hand, just completely grabbing hold of the material of his uniform. Great stuff there. Red Wolf. And then, of course, everyone wants this issue these days with the Lady Liberators. First appearance of Squadron Supreme. Right there. Isn't that fantastic? And then the origin of the Black Panther. Of course, they wouldn't say it on the cover at the time. They called him T'Challa. And then, look at that. That's a Harlan Ellison book for all you sci-fi nuts out there. Look at that beautiful work right there. That's actually Sal Buscema on the cover. And then we are leading into the Kree-Skrull War right here. Look at this. Oh my word. That is a beautiful cover, Salbasema. Look at it. I mean, are you telling me that you would leave this on the stands? Huh? Would you leave that on the stands? the only good alien is a dead alien? Come on. Ooh-wee. Yeah, look at that. Neil Adams. Beautiful there. Beautiful Kree-Skrull War. Beautiful Mandroids. That issue's tough in high grade. Look at that black. That black just loves to get creased. Beautiful Neil Adams again there with Inhumans. And then, of course, look at that. This is the issue that has the famous sequence where the Ant-Man goes inside the Vision's body. Neil Adams at his finest. And in this issue, of course, features the Supreme Intelligence, the end of the Kree-Skrull War, and Rick Jones becoming like the most powerful person in the universe for a second. Issue 100 right there, Barry Smith, all with everyone who'd been an Avenger in it. And then we have this little era in the early 100s that back in the day, they weren't around, these issues. I mean, they were just trashed. Every issue was awful. It took me years to find clean issues from this little stretch, because they were too low priced in the guide. No one cared, But I was like furiously looking through back issue bins. This issue cost me like $25 at the time. I remember I just couldn't find it anywhere, and finally in the end, some guy said, "Oh, I've got it, 25." I said, "I'll give you the 25." Now, this book was quite cheap for a long time because no one cared. And then we realized, wait a minute, it's the first appearance of Mantis, and because of the Guardians movie, all the prices went up. Again, getting the Avengers run just seems to go on forever. Just goes on forever. But look at that right there. So that's Steve Englehart doing a little crossover there with Jim Starlin's Thanos. Great stuff. Englehart and Jim Starlin, can you imagine those guys working together? Beautiful. And this, for you 70s collectors out there, Avengers people, I know if you haven't got this run together yet, you're grinding your way through putting these issues together. It is a great run. Steve Englehart at his finest right here. I mean, look at this, the origin of the Vision. This is the stuff here that later on Kurt Busiek drew a lot of his story ideas from, because Kurt Busiek was a huge Steve Englehart fan right here. You gotta love this issue. Just in case you don't know, Moondragon and Beast join the Avengers here. And there she is. My beautiful Moondragon. Everyone knows that I have a little sickness, and it's called Moondragonitis. I love Moondragon. I know it's only a comic. But this, in my opinion, right here, let's just get something serious right now. This little stretch of Avengers is way underpriced. Even in the guide, I don't know what it is. These issues just didn't exist for the prices that you see in the guide right now. I always overpaid more. And for some strange reason, the prices have remained relatively low, considering. But I'm sure if you are putting together your run of Avengers, you've come across these issues and found that they are anywhere near price guide prices. Look at that, the new team, 151. Beautiful work right there. In actual fact, that is actually a double cover. Again, all great stuff. There, crossover right there with the Champions. That's also a team up right there. Crossover there with another book called Supervillain Team Up. All great stuff. Look at that. Wonder Man against the Vision. It was quite a fight, by the way. Brutal. And then, oh, dear me. Look at that beautiful cover. I know that you guys are screaming right now. Look at it. Woo-wee. Just great stuff. You got some great stuff coming up with Count Nefaria. Look at this. Count Nefaria right here. He's boosted his power level up to a level where he can actually take on Thor and the Vision at the same time. And he's manhandling them. It's just incredible, his power. Jim Shooter is doing the writing, of course. And there's a little sequence in this issue where the Vision falls from a great height right onto Captain Nefaria's head and crushes him right into the concrete. There we go, Guardians of the Galaxy right there. Look at that, 167. This is all great stuff. George Perez, oh, look at that. Oh, I've got to be careful, I'm getting carried away here. Again, there's Joe Castor. And then, oh, look at this Ultron stuff right there. I know you guys are all hunting these issues here. Look at this beautiful stuff right here, which is leading into the Corvax Saga. Okay, look at that. There it is, the Corvax Saga. Whoo. When I was younger, the Corvax Saga was like, the be-all and end-all. Like, oh, the Corvax Saga. I don't know whether they're going to do anything else with Mr. Michael Korvac, but those were all great books. And then 181 right there, which is the first appearance of Scott Lang. He's not in costume, but Scott Lang is in there. That's the new team. It's all great stuff. By the way, it's John Byrne inside these issues. This is John Byrne. I mean, talk about being busy. He was doing Avengers and X-Men at the same time. Great classic material right here. Look at this great stuff. Beautiful books. Just John Byrne. Oh, and if I'm correct, I think it's David Michelini on the writing right there. Of course, Avengers Annual 7. Everyone has to have 2 copies of Avengers Annual 7. Annual 8 right there. Hyperion. All good stuff. And then get to the little oddity books right here. Black Goliath. Back in the day when I purchased Black Goliath, I remember the dealers that I was purchasing off, they were laughing at me. They were like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? And I'd explained to them I was going for a complete Marvel set, and then of course at the time Black Panther was cheap. Black Panther #1 was $10, so I just picked up 2. The Black Panther run is actually a hard run to put together now. It's sort of relatively expensive. Each book's $20, $25, $30 sometimes. Wasn't that way in the old days, And then, of course, my Captain Americas, which I'm very proud of. Issue 121, of course, is January 1970. This is all great stuff. I particularly love this cover right there. Look at that, John Romita. Whew, yeah. Just beautiful stuff here. John Romita, Captain Americas. Again, I think these books are a little bit underpriced in the guide. And then there's a little period here with the 1950s Captain America that I got. My issues I actually had CGC'd. Look at that, 153. Look at that book right there, 9.6. That's one of my own copies that I had done, and this one I'm very proud of. See, I have my raw copy, and then I have my 9.8, 156 Captain against Captain right there. That's a 1950s Captain America, who comes back and is totally insane. Steve Englehart. I'm telling you, for those of you who don't know, please Google up Steve Englehart. All of this is great stuff, leading into, let's see, of course, leading into Kirby coming back here. So, just a quick breeze through to let you know, I'm a collector just like you guys. I may not be as active. I don't pick up back issues and stuff anymore, really. But I do love my books. They're very precious to me. I can still remember the places where I bought most of my issues. And maybe in a week or so, I will go on to the next couple of boxes, beginning with, let me see, Daredevil. Yeah, we'll start off with my Daredevils and get into the Defenders. I got a lot of 1970s. I've got a lot. So, boom!